Hello YouTube, W&J's Handy Dad here, and today I'm going to show you how to fix a common golf cart problem. So if you have a shifter that won't shift out of a particular gear, or it shifts and then pops right back and won't stay in gear, or you press the pedal and it won't always go. I'm not talking about when the batteries are dead and it won't go, or it's turned off and it won't go. I'm talking about you're driving, sometimes it goes and sometimes it won't. And usually you'll hear a click in the rear of the relay trying to activate. If you have any of those symptoms, most likely it's your forward reverse switch, which is located right there. This is what makes your golf cart go forward or reverse. So the way it works is when you shift into forward, it's going to hook up the hot in the ground one direction, and then when you shift into reverse, it's going to flip those so that the engine or motor, if you will, runs backwards. But because of that, these connectors have to be loose enough so that they can move, and obviously that creates a weak link. And if you have kids that love to go one direction and then throw it in the other direction, or perhaps have this kind of halfway connected to where maybe there's excessive heat, this can melt. As you see, mine, it's popped off of here, so I no longer have forward or reverse. Now this part's about $80 to $100 depending on where you get it, but I'm going to show you it's pretty easy to replace. The main thing is obviously to keep all of these, take pictures and stuff so you know where they all hook up. Other thing, very important, anytime you're working on electrical, disconnect your ground. So basically on mine it's the last one, has a thick black connector to it. Hot is the big thick red one over there. You can disconnect that one or the ground, either one or both if you feel the need, but you do not have to disconnect all of these. These are all the tools that you need for the job. You need a medium-sized Phillips screwdriver, a fat Phillips screwdriver, a 12, 8, and 5 millimeter socket. So I'm just going to unscrew this to remove the handle. And that just slides straight off. And then with the electrical already disconnected, like I said, that's very important. Do that before you start messing around here. And we're just going to unscrew these three. See, these bolts are pretty long. So you see at that point the switch can come out. And like I said, the main thing is to make sure that you have lots of pictures of your wires so that you put everything back the way it goes. Mine has kind of a yellowy brown wire going to black, and then a red going to blue, and then those just connect onto there. But you see there's two greens, two blacks. There's also another red and blue coming out of there. So anyway, kind of a confusing mess. I don't know how much of this was aftermarket wiring and how much of this is factory. So, like I said, I'm just going to make sure when I get the new switch in that all of these get hooked up the same way so that I don't have electrical problems. These are 8 millimeter. That's the same way. In my case, I'm going remember this, that the red is the passenger, kind of an orange red, and then the blue is the driver's side, and it's all the way blue, it's not dirty. And on the back side, this one has got some black on the blue there. So that's how I'm going to differentiate which wire goes where. And there's a white wire on the bottom, also a 12 millimeter. So I'm going to remove that off camera, and then we'll just disconnect all of those and the switch will come out. The alternative to disconnecting all of these is to just unbolt these here. Mine are 5 millimeter. And the reason I'm doing that on mine is because I ordered a new switch, but I don't have it yet. And so rather than disconnect all these wires and then let several days pass before I'm able to put the new one in, I may forget which green went where and so forth. So I'm going to leave all these connected and just remove them from the actual switch here. Now I've removed the switch. I'm just going to let those hang for now away from the battery. And the new switch arrived today. So I started this project yesterday, not expecting this to arrive for about a week. So good service, very happy about that. You can see these connectors are in here the way they're supposed to be. So I'm also glad that I removed that as a whole from the other one, so that I can make sure I line these up and swap them over one wire at a time so there's no mix-ups there. Like I said, the installation is the reverse of removal. I'm going to start with these two wires, hook them up, and that'll allow me to put the switch into place, and then I can go ahead and wire this up there. My new switch did not come with these 3 nuts, so I'm going to have to transfer those over to the new one. When you install these, you want to make sure that you get them in just like they were with the lock washers, so that when you torque it down, they won't come loose. And you want them snug. I don't know a torque spec for these, but obviously you get vibrations when you drive, and so they need to be snug enough that they're not going to come loose, because if they're loose and you're driving around, it could create some sparks depending on how much movement you get in there, so you want to avoid that, obviously. Those are snug, and we can just fit this back through. You don't want to crank on them so much that you break through the plastic or anything, but it's snug enough that this isn't moving. And again, you want these snug so that they don't move around, because if they temporarily disconnect and reconnect while you're driving around, you could get a spark. So see, now we have free range movement on the switch. So you see we got those top 2 in there. All of them are now connected. switch moves freely and stays in place. So tighten up the handle. And the last step is to reconnect your grounds. You may get a little spark when you first touch it. And again, you want to make sure it's tight so that it doesn't spark when you're driving around. And the moment of truth. Hard work paid off. Hope this video was helpful. If it was, appreciate a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And please tell your friends about my channel. Thank you very much.